Erin, you ready? Yeah, go for it. Oh, I'm trying to unmute you. There you go.
Okay.
Okay, we're set.
Hello, everyone. My name is Erin Fugate, and I'm one of the founders of the Visionary Leaders Community, and we are so thrilled that you are gathering with us all today. A couple of housekeeping items. If you would like to see the person speaking, instead of seeing the grid of all the other faces, you just go up in the right-hand corner and click Speaker View. And that's going to give you just a nice view of whoever is speaking, and it'll make it a little easier to follow. And when Josie does a demo of how to make an essential oil tea, you'll be able to follow along even better. Who are these calls for, and why have we created these calls? These calls are for anyone that wants to learn how to use essential oils to protect their health, their family's health, and to alleviate symptoms if something starts to go in the wrong direction with the way that they're feeling. We are a community of essential oil educators, essential oil users. We're friends, we're sisters, we're brothers, we're mothers. Some of the people on this call are naturopathic physicians. We have doctors of Chinese medicine. We have energy workers. We have licensed massage therapists. We have pet lovers. Oh my gosh, just every type of person. And the thing that we have in common is we love essential oils. If you are brand new to doTERRA and someone invited you to this call and you're thinking, oh, I don't have any doTERRA in my life, we want to make sure that you know how to get them at wholesale prices, because we don't let friends buy oils at retail prices. So reach out to the person who invited you to the call. They will help you get started. And in fact, until the end of March, a few more days, many of our starter kits are 20% off. So you're going to want to grab that. You're going to hear a ton of information on this call. If you were on the last call, you probably took notes like crazy. We want you to know that if you go to my website or Aisha's website, essentialwellness.life or hellovisionary.life, under the Oil Talks tab, you will find our notes from each call. So protocols we talked about, products we recommended, webinars that we recommended, it's all there. So just know you can go and find it and reference anything that we've heard about. This call is not going to be for replay. It's something you need to get on live to join in, because even though we're going to do our best to speak in a compliant manner, which is important, that we're not saying we're going to treat or cure any diseases, which in fact we are not saying that we're going to treat or cure any diseases. Sometimes we get a little excited about essential oils and all the cool research that is out there. And if you go to websites like PubMed.gov or Aromatic Science and you type in something like clove or Litsea or even On Guard, you're going to be blown away by what essential oils can do. I encourage you, if you are a science-minded person, if you like to look at research, if you want to know what essential oils truly can do, go look at those websites, aromaticscience.com or pubmed.gov. So with that said, we've had some questions after the last call, like what can I say and what can I not say? You can't say that essential oils kill viruses. However, go look at the research, you might come to a different conclusion. What you can say is essential oils are going to support my immune system during times of seasonal threats. Essential oils are going to help alleviate my symptoms. Essential oils are going to help my emotions, all kinds of things here. But we really want to make sure you leave this call knowing what essential oils truly can do. And that is our intention, that you know what they can do and you know how to use them effectively, and that you know how to use them in a time of emergency, and you know what oils you need to have in your medicine cabinet so that you are prepared. Our agenda for today is we will be highlighting one essential oil that we think everyone should have and use. Dr. Josie is going to go over a few protocols to help you know what to do to stay healthy and to help you know what to do if you're in it. Robin Azima from Australia, hello to all our Australians joining the call today. We're so happy you're here. She's going to lead us through an exercise to help our emotions. We will have a short amount of time for Q&A. specifically anything that relates to what we've talked about. If there's a subject we didn't cover in the Q&A or we didn't cover in this call and you'd like us to cover it, let us know. We're going to keep track of that and try to cover it in a future call. And then, as always, we need to end with some jokes because these are serious times. So we will have our essential oil bloopers section. The call should be just under an hour. We hope you sit back, relax, enjoy, take some great notes, and just soak in this community connection with all these essential oil enthusiasts that surround you in support and wisdom and love. I would like to introduce our first speaker, Ariana Harley. She runs our A to Z oil calls, and she is an expert in what each oil does specifically, and she's going to highlight one very important oil today. Take it away, Ariana.
Hey friends, so today we're going to be talking about Melaleuca or tea tree. If you have some older bottles from the US, it might be called Melaleuca. And if you got some newer bottles or if you're purchasing from around the world, you'll see that it's tea tree. That's the same oil. And this oil has been known, if you have it, you can grab it. I love to, before I talk about them, even just smell them. You're going to notice this really antiseptic smell with this oil. And it is a cleanser by nature. So Dr. Josie is going to be sharing some sharing some ideas. You'll hear some recipes. But I just want to say, for this time right now, this is an amazing mouthwash and gargle. It's amazing to add to any of your countertop cleansers, floor cleansers, hand sanitizing sprays. Just think all things cleansing. Tea tree oil is going to be a great addition. Even if the recipe doesn't call for it, add some in there anyway. This is something that we don't want to type up on the internet or anything. But again, as Erin had mentioned, if you look at those PubMed studies, you will see things. If you look it up in a book, if you look at scientific research, you're going to see that it says it's a broad spectrum antibacterial, it's an antiviral, it's an antifungal, and it's an antiparasitic. And so really, this oil has got you covered on so many different bases. I encourage you to look up the research again if you're in, I'm just reiterating that because there's some really great studies on other diseases that this might be beneficial for, right? So definitely look up that research. And I wanted to say a great combo, if you have the Ravinsura, this tea tree and Ravinsura together is phenomenal for an antiviral. It's a great thing to do on the onset of any symptoms of the flu, especially if, or a cold, especially if you feel fatigue or you have a chronic immune deficiency. Now, what's really cool is some of you might not have the Ravinsura. That isn't available to order. But guess what? Our Breathe oil has Ravinsura in it. So, wow. And just add a little more Melaleuca. The Breathe has Melaleuca in it too. So you can choose to just use your Breathe oil, or you could just bump it up a little bit with some more Melaleuca. I know Dr. Josie's going to talk about this, but I just want to show you something. We are in a pandemic, so this doesn't taste the best in my opinion, but it's doable. So I'll show you how I use it on the first onset of any throat irritation. I just drop a few drops right into my mouth. It's kind of gross, but I won't lie. But sometimes we just got to take our medicine, right? Like when I was a kid, there's just sometimes, I mean, the other option, getting sick, no thank you. I will pick a little bit gross. And it's not, I don't think it's too bad. So I'm just dropping it right in the back of the throat, and it is such a good cleanser. So easy way to do that. You can also mix it with some water and gargle, and you can mix some other oils in there if you want a nicer taste and some honey. So those are some more ideas. This is wonderful to put in your diffuser. So be diffusing the Breathe, be diffusing that tea tree oil. Dr. Susan Lawton and Rebecca Hinsey, in their book says, when diffused, it helps prevent the spread of infection. So clean your areas out. Again, you can make your own chemical-free mouthwash. Add 1 or 2 drops of tea tree into some warm water, and you can mix it and gargle it. Salt water would be really good. You can also just mix it with just regular water and drink it. We'll be talking a little bit more about that. Another thing I've been doing is I've been just adding it in the On Guard mouthwash, just a few drops, and then gargling at night because I've been noticing some throat sensitivity. And it's a great for the chest and a vapor rub. So just rub it on the chest is awesome. And I will kind of hand it off. I just want to let you know that on an energetic level, it has been known as a level, or it has been known as protecting with energetic boundaries, right? So wonderful, wonderful way to bring that in on so many different levels. And then one last thing about it we don't talk about as much is it's a really good for uplifting the mood. It's really good if you're feeling kind of fuzzy brained, if you're feeling fatigued, if you're having a hard time focusing. Does any of that sound familiar with what's going on, right? Like all of those things, getting really easily distracted, maybe feeling a little depressed. Melaleuca is a great oil to bring in and use aromatically as well. So there's so much more, but I'll stop there. And so if you don't have any, you want this in your medicine cabinet, you want this in your first aid kit, you want this oil. It's a super important one.
Thank you, Ariana. And I can't help it. There's so many things we could talk about Melaleuca tea tree, but I just want everyone to know that if you have one of those persistent coughs, you know, that's like a tickle in your throat and really annoying, you rub it on your throat and it takes the cough away. It's amazing.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. One more thing. This is what I also
know, it's so hard.
I wanted to add. I was going to mention that. So thank you. I rub it on the outside and great for kids. This is a gentle oil and great for the skin. So nice oil for the throat. I also just wanted to let you all know that as I mentioned, Tea Trees and Breathes. It's also in Purify. It's an HD Clear, which is a skin oil. But if you look at that blend, that's amazing for respiratory supports. It's in GX Assist to help clean out the gut. And it's also in our Correct X. I might have missed a few things. If you think of any oils, type it in the chat bar. But those are other ways you can get your tea tree too.
And if you go to hellovisionary.life or essentialwellness.life, you can go to Ariana's A to Z Talks, and I bet she has a Melaleuca call if you want to dive even deeper. Melaleuca/tea tree, the label just changed. So for everyone joining us, thank you so much, Ariana. That was wonderful to hear. We're going to move on to Dr. Josie now, sharing some protocols for these uncertain times. But I want you to know that if you click on the speaker button at the top of your Zoom, then whoever is speaking, it'll be their face on the screen. That might be helpful for you. If you're on your phone, you just have to swipe through until you find the person speaking. So let's see. Are you there, Josie?
Hi there.
Hi.
I am. Hold on. Hi, everyone. So I have a lot of text. We're going to put some of that text. I'm going to put it in the chat right now, and we're also going to put it in the, it's really big though, so it'll stop some of the chatting in a sense. I wanted people to be able to read and look at while I'm talking kind of quickly through things, and then know that it's also going to be on the resource pages, okay?
Josie?
Yes.
Really quick, can I introduce you in case there's people on the phone that don't know who you are?
Thank you.
So Dr. Josie Schmidt is one of our amazing visionary leaders, and she has an extreme wealth of knowledge. She's a naturopathic physician living in Portland, Oregon, and I love hearing her speak because she has so much knowledge, not only about essential oils, but about maintaining health in the human body. We're really lucky to have Josie in our community, and she has spent the last couple of days compiling these incredible protocols for you. So thank you. I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that you are awesome.
Oh, thank you, Erin. Well, I'm just going to repeat some of what Ariana said, and I'm not good with IT, so I'm wondering, I don't know how to paste into this. I thought my thing would paste, but it's not. So could Erin or Aisha paste the notes that I sent
Can
you?
you,
Is that possible, or how do I do that?
I'll try it. I'll take care of it.
Okay, thanks. I was like, oh, it doesn't paste. Okay, so, oh, this happened last time. Are people seeing me? Anyways, I'm just gonna go on ahead. I just see BLL.
We see you.
Okay, great. So I'm excited. I want to go through.
Oh, real quick. You know what? I can't paste.
You can't paste.
But the information is on essentialwellness.life under the oil talk tab. So if you want to open another screen and look at that while Dr. Josie is going through it, it is there.
Oh, great. Okay. So great. That's good because people can then chat as well. So we were talking, and it was so wonderful to have all these ideas about swiping and doing swigs and on sublingual or under the tongue and doing shot glasses and doing teas. And we realized that we wanted to kind of take a step back and take everyone through that again. And so what I listed out was 2 categories. I started with, these are oils for daily teas, shot glasses, or sublingual, which means under the tongue doses. So I want to give context to this. This is how so many of us use our oils in prevention. So staying safe, having peace of mind, right? So we do it during those times. But what we do is we increase the frequency then when we feel like that we're at the onset of something, when we've been exposed to something, or we have that tickle in the throat, right? We have those beginning symptoms, or someone coughed in your face. That's usually not going to happen right now because we're staying away from that. But you go out, or somehow you feel like something's happening and you're in that onset phase. That's when you're going to increase, and all the things that I talk about now, the rule of thumb is that you increase in frequency. And so the general rule of thumb is for the first day of waking hours, you're going to do a dose, which could be a swipe in your mouth like this. It could be a drop under the tongue. It could be a shot. It could be sipping tea, right? Those are all doses. You want to be doing one of those we're saying 20 to 30 minutes of your waking hours. So, right, you get the idea. And sometimes we even say, if you really feel it and you want to knock it out, you can even go down to 10 minutes. So somewhere in that 10, 20, 30 minutes, you're repeating this small but frequent dose. So you're going to up the frequency. Now, if you actually succumb and you realize that you do have something and you've gotten sick in some way, then that's when you're going to stay with an increased frequency, but you're going to go with increased amount as well. So we'll get into that, but just know that's that rule of thumb. And so in those first, especially days like 2 through 5, that first period where you're fighting it hard and I call it hitting it hard, you're going to be dosing. You want to be dosing every 20 to 30 minutes to an hour with things all throughout your waking hours, and you're going to be increasing the dose. So you're going to be taking more frequently. So that's that rule of thumb of like, how much am I doing things? So now I want to step back and go through this idea of how do I take stuff? And I wanted to break it down into 2 categories of, these are not all the oils. These are just the oils that many of us were coming up in terms of what we most commonly use with doing doses in the mouth, whether it's a sublingual dose or a swipe or a shot glass, or then making teas. So I made a category of what I call antis. So those are things that kill off things, right? These are the killers. And that category consists of Melissa, and I said oregano/thyme. They're very similar. You could use one or the other. Oregano, you don't want to use for longer than about 2 weeks. And thyme is really wonderful with more respiratory stuff. So you could prefer to use thyme in today, but oregano has this very, very long-standing herbal tradition of just being the thing that can just, bam, move something out and have you not succumb to whatever you were exposed to. So there you go. Melissa, oregano or thyme. Melaleuca tea tree, On Guard, which is a blend, DDR Prime, which is a blend, cinnamon or cassia. So these are both from the cinnamomum family. Cinnamon is the bark, cassia is the leaf from the cinnamomum tree. They're very similar, and in terms of the constituents that we are interested in for being killers, they are the same. So you would use one or the other, cinnamon bark or cassia. Clove, pink pepper, black pepper, or the blend Slomin's-Assay, which has cinnamon and ginger and peppermint and lemon and grapefruit in it. Okay, so that's your category 1, antis. Your category 2 are going to be your supportives or additionals. And there I have Digest Zen, all the citrus oils, all of them, copaiba, frankincense, Siberian fir, spearmint, peppermint, and lavender. Now, I do want to do a caveat here is it's hard to categorize oils. So, we could put a lot of those oils in both categories because we also know that lavender and frankincense and copaiba are very anti too, right? They do a lot of stuff, but I put them in the other one. So one of the things I say is choose one from each of the categories, but know that there's a little bit of flexibility even there, because you're going to see one of our favorites for I have a tickle in the throat, just like Erin and Ariana talked about, and getting out is going to be lavender, melaleuca, and Siberian fir, and those are all in the category in the second category, right? So there's a little bit of flexibility there. Okay, so I'm going to take you through how we do. I have 3, if you want to break it down into the 3 ways that you do really quick, like, we're still busy, some of us in our homes, we still have calls, we're still doing things. And so we have 3 simple techniques. The first we talked about before, we're going to go over it again, is working with Melissa. We love Melissa right now. This is our probably most preferred, it's my most preferred oil. So here's my Melissa. And I literally, right, we talked about a swipe. So a swipe can look like this along the side of the top of the oil. Swipe, right? And then you can do a swipe off the top of the oil. So you noticed I use my finger or my thumb, right? Tomato. You can go like that. So that is a swipe, and you're getting about 1/3 to 1/2 of a drop of oil right there in the mouth. What I love about Melissa's very strong. This is not something you're probably going to do with kids, right? And you just need a little bit. It's really doing everything I want it to do right now. And so when I go to the store and I haven't been leaving the house very much, but when I have, I do a swipe before and I do a swipe after. When I'm going to be out in the world more, I'm going to be doing this kind of thing. I'm going to carry it around with me and I'm going to have these swipes. I'm used to the flavor. Start slow with Melissa. It is hot. It's one of our most hot oils. So that's number 1 way of doing things. No, I say number 1 and then I say or because as we've there's many ways to do this, right? So that's so great about the oils. There's never one way. Some people say, I don't have Melissa. It's really expensive. Is there another oil I can use? Yes. So how about melaleuca? So same thing with melaleuca. Now with melaleuca, it's not as hot. It's not as intense, and you can do a drop. So you can do a drop in your mouth every 20 to 30 minutes. Now, what I have here in my notes is really for the onset, right? I said, I feel something coming on. This is what I want to speak to with these protocols. So you would be doing the Melissa every 20 to 30 minutes, or you would be doing a drop of the melaleuca every 20 to 30 minutes, okay? Now, Ariana was a trooper there with the melaleuca because that is not very tasty. So I have a hack, or one of my tips, which is I like to, if I'm going to be doing melaleuca as my oil every 20 to 30 minutes, I don't like the taste very much. So what I do is I get a shot glass, and yes, it's true, I have a doTERRA shot glass. I get a shot glass. Have you guys been able to hear me? Is my sound just better? Oh my God.
You sound great.
Okay, I just turned it up. So I have my doTERRA shot glass, and I do 1 drop of melaleuca If you get 2, it's fine. And then guess what hides the flavor of Melaleuca really well and happens to be sweet and happens to taste really good? Digest Zen. Oh. So then I do 1 drop of Digest Zen. And now drop it down, and it's a lot better. Still a little medicinal, but I tell you, I've had lots of moms who've worked with their young children where On Guard is a little too hot for them. Like the cinnamon and the clove can be hot for young kids. Depends on the child. And for any type of sore throat, any type of thing coming on in this way, this is what we've done, and it's been really effective. Kids can just gargle it and spit it out, or you can just do, I said, a little bit of swish and down. So in this thing, we want to experience the effects down through the whole tract. So just do a little bit coating and then swish it down. So this is a great technique with the shot glass. You just fill a little bit of water and then you do your 1 or 2 drops of the oils that you're working with and down. And that's pretty easy, right? You could do that every half an hour. And that's a lot easier for people to handle versus a single oil in the mouth. Now, this is what doing a single oil in the mouth. Here's On Guard. This is one we talk about. So I'm pretty practiced. I always tell people to look in the mirror the first time they do this with, usually it's someone sassy, could be On Guard, but you tip your head back and you get 1 to 2. You could go up to 5 drops, but start with 1 to 2. And that's what it looks like to just do your own sublingual. Yeah. Did I show you guys how you do right? We did the swipe, we did the thumb. You can also do, if you want a little bit more oil than just the swipe, you can take your bottle and do it like this. And sometimes you're going to get a little bit more oil than the swipe, but sometimes not. I'm not letting that go to waste. Okay. So hold on here. Okay, the oregano. So the oregano, that's even hotter than the Melissa. It's intense, guys. But guess what? It's only intense for 20, 30 seconds. So I like to teach people, if they're going to do oregano, I like to do it in the shot glass. I like to do 1 to 2 drops with the water in there. And then you do exactly what I did. You swig it down and then you stomp your foot about 3 times. I'm serious. The stomping really helps. It's burns, it's intense. You go like that. And then you're like, oh, okay, it's a little intense. And then you're done. So those are the 3 ways. And again, so the oregano, you don't have to do as much. It's really one of those things where you probably only want to do it 2 to 3 to 4 times. And then you could alternate with the Melaleuca or with the Melissa. But the idea is that you're doing this through that first day. You're trying to push this thing out. You don't want to get it. So many of us, with our tools and everything that we have, if or when we get exposed, this is the idea. We're going to push this thing out. We're going to let our stomach acid digest it, and our bowels and we're going to get it out of our body, and it's not going to have any time to sit and take hold in our lungs or our respiratory tract. So this is really the goal. Okay. So what I love about teas is if you can visualize that that's the goal, that then if you're making up these incredible antiviral, antimicrobial teas and ones that are supporting and enhancing our immune system, and you're basically drinking them all day long in warm water, which we know these viruses don't like, then you're keeping your passages moist as well, and it is an incredible thing. So I've made up some different tea recipes, slightly different ones, which is I'm not getting it and I'm fighting it. There's some teas that would work with both of those cases of I'm not going to get it, I'm preventing, and I might have it now, and this is supporting me and helping me to fight things off. And so I did do a post before of my favorite recipe. It's 5 oils, and I'm going to demonstrate it here because the other recipes, there's ones that are 4 or 5, and then there's some that are 2. And I'm going to show you how easy it is to do a tea. So here's my favorite mug. My friend Richard made this. And the best way is to get This is the teaspoon here, and I have, so about 1 teaspoon of honey. I don't know if you guys can see it. I don't want to drip it onto my computer. So it's filled with honey. So what I do is I'm going to add my essential oils into the honey. Now you can plop your honey into the bottom. That's what's probably easier. I'm going to do that now into the bottom of your tea. It's empty, so I'm dripping it down in. There it goes. So now I have the honey down in there. I'm going to take my favorite recipe, which is frankincense. No, 1 drop. I say 1 to 2, because a lot of these oils, you aim for 1, you get 2. You know what I'm saying? And you'll find with this recipe, you can even do 2 drops of each of these oils, and that's 10 drops. That would be a lot for some different oils, but not for this recipe. They're so mild and yummy. But I'm really pouring things out well now, and I'm getting 1 drop of each. So that was Copaiba. Sorry about that. Here's my third, Siberian fir. And so what I'm going to do, I love this recipe so much that I'm going to combine all of these into a big one. And so I just have the big one with a dropper bottle, and so I can just go and make it, because I've been drinking it all day. And when it's 2 oils, it's pretty, you're like choot choot. But 5 oils, you can see it's taking me a bit of time. And then, sorry, that was pink pepper, and this is tangerine. So there are my oils dropped into my honey. And here's my hot pot. I got it hot before. And I'm just pouring it. If you can see, can you guys see the steam? There's a little bit of steam. So my favorite part is cupping it and just breathing it in. And some of these recipes with the oils that really, like the peppermint, the Siberian fir, the ones, you're going to get some beautiful action into your sinuses. And I know we're going to have recipes about steams. And so it's pretty much without the honey, you just do super boiling hot water, and you only do it to about here, and you add your oils in first, and then you cup like this, and you sit there and breathe, and that's called a steam. Pretty similar. Now I have my tea, and it is so delicious, and I'm drinking it all day. So it's a lot more delicious than the Melaleuca, I have to say, just saying. So moving on, I made up some tea recipes for everyone to look at. There is this one, there's some other ideas for the not getting it and fighting it on Garden Copaiba, yum. So most of these are yummy. Cinnamon, cassia, black pepper, and lemon, yum. Super gonna fight off a lot of things, and yummy. Pink pepper and green mandarin, super yummy. That's yummy in water too, and seltzer. I feel like I have a tickle in my throat. These are from some of our docs. Lavender, Melaleuca, and Siberian fir. Super effective, not that yummy. Just a warning. Lavender and Melaleuca, I love them. They're not that yummy. So that's a great one. You can also, those 3 for putting topically and rolling on. I would love to do that one in a roller with some fractionated coconut oil and have that on my chest. Okay. But it's very effective. So when you are feeling that tickle, that's what you want to be taking. When you're in it and you've been going through it, this is more in phase 2, dredging up and getting the gunk out. Frankincense, Copaiba, Siberian fir, and peppermint. You want to be able to do some of that moving of the phlegm. Afterwards, recovery. There's not a lot, there can be tissue damage. Recovering, there's biofilm from viruses left over. So part of that, after you're at the peak and the fevers come down and you're working that way, this is a very important tea. Rosemary, sandalwood, myrrh, and clove. I have not tasted it yet. And sandalwood and myrrh, if you have both of them, use both of them. If you only have one of them, use one of them. I've used this one for a post. I don't think this is what's going on now, but I thought I'd put it in here because people are going to have these recipes. This is golden for the normal allergy and or upper respiratory thing, regular stuff where you have a post-nasal drip and you're okay during the day, and then you go to lie down and you can't sleep all night because you're coughing. You know that one. Cinnamon, lemon, and myrrh is amazing with that. Okay, I'm going to quickly just go through you. I think most of you have seen the Peace of Mind protocol. This is the not getting it protocol. And this is the staying well. This isn't going to end. This is our new life. This, for some of us have already been doing this, but this is really this is where we're at. And right, we're not, this Corona situation is going to continue in a different way in our lives going forward from this. So we want to stay healthy. We talked about different DIY blends, whether it's On Guard Touch, making your own, or doing our Fluma blend, using that on your hands, on your neck, carrying around, yeah, Erin, thank you. You have it. Carrying around that in your purse, as well as your On Guard hand sanitizer and the Correct-X for doing in the base of your nostrils. But in terms of taking things, and then for our household, we're going to go over, there's so many different wonderful recipes for clearing the surfaces, but the most effective, I think, right now, and that we've been using in addition, but mostly to lemon, right? In addition to that, that's a little more effective, is DDR. So combining either using DDR or DDR with lemon in a spray bottle to clean and clear all the, when they're talking about doing the doorknobs, a lot of those tea recipes, any of them you could use. You can do On Guard, but DDR is really good. And diffusing it in your home. So you can, if you don't like the smell of it, add other things to it, but use it as a baseline, or look at the ingredients and approximate them and make up some of your own diffusing. So in terms of what we should be taking, 1 DDR gel cap, AM and PM, definitely. Staying consistent with the Lifelong Vitality Pack, that is our baseline of nutrition. What we've been hearing from the Chinese docs from the Wuhan, we have a couple of them that we have connection with, is that it is of the utmost importance for people to be keeping their GI tract, where their immune system is, and their gut clear and healthy. So we want to be doing that all the time, and we want to make sure that we are clearing out our bowels. So in addition to the LLV pack, there is the 1 PB Assist daily, and before bed, taking 2 Zendocrine complexes, 1 Zendocrine oil gel cap, and 1 to 2 Terrazymes. Now, and then you're also taking your second dose of DDR, right, with that. And then using oils on the bottoms of your feet. On Guard or DDR would be a place to start. And then working with the Symphony of the Cells treatments, anywhere from 1 to 5 a week. And taking the 2, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and A are the vitamins that you want to dose more of for antiviral. The most common and the easiest to get a hold of, the ones I would highlight first, would be vitamin D and vitamin C. And so I've done that. I said up your vitamin D dose to anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000 IU daily. And vitamin C, 500 milligrams AM and PM. And that would be in addition to your LLV pack. All right. Thank you, everyone. Those are some of my...
Awesome. That was so good. Okay, we're going to have a little Q&A section in a moment after we have some emotional soothing. But a question for you to be thinking about, Josie, and you can come back with it when we come to it, is people were asking for alternatives to Melissa and then wanting to make sure that some of the alternatives have the same powerful effect. So when we come to our Q&A, maybe if you could speak to that. All right. Again, we are so lucky to have the minds that we have on this team, not only the practitioners, but the essential oil educators that have been using oils every day in their lives. And I'm really grateful that we're all getting this wisdom. You can get everything that Josie just said on essentialwellness.life under Oil Talks, or on hellovisionary.life under Oil Talks. So just know that's all written out for you. Even if you took notes, it's all written out for you. So we can all start our Peace of Mind protocol and our essential oil teas. And if we get a tickle in our throat, we know what to do. So now,
can I just speak to the Litsea question? I can answer that, or I can wait.
We're going to wait till our Q&A section.
Okay, got it.
Thank you. So it is not just about supporting our immune system, right? Who feels a little extra anxiety, a little extra stress, fear, uncertainty, all of that? So essential oils are amazing for your emotional health as well. We have a beautiful friend and fellow visionary leader on the line. Her name is Robin Azima. She is from Queensland, Australia. She has been using essential oils probably longer than I've been alive, because I met her when I was 9 years old, and her and my mom were essential oil geeks together. She's also a beautiful healer, intuitive, and a hypnotherapist. And Robin Azima is going to take us through a simple, easy, short essential oil application that we can do on ourselves when we need our emotions to kind of come back to peace. So take it away, Robin. Wait, Robin, we can't hear you for some reason. I'm trying to unmute you, but maybe you try.
Hi, how's that? Can
Great.
you hear me now?
Yes.
So hi, everybody. So let's talk for a few minutes about energy and how we all have an energy signature based on our beliefs and how we perceive the world. So everything in the universe, our world, has an energy signature, from the furniture in your home to living plants, animals, and even, yes, a virus. So like all forms of energy, you are constantly producing a frequency that's unique to you. This is your energy signature, an energetic signature. So of course, we're very blessed. We have these amazing essential oils that also have an energy signature. So not only do they assist us physically, emotionally, but they also support and uplift our energetic body. So our energetic signature can alter when we go into feelings of fear, despair, feeling helpless, out of control. In fact, all the emotions which carry a heavy energetic signature can help to lower our frequency. So right now, in this time of change, it can be challenging to maintain a sense of calm. The future is not known. We don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. And our world is a little bit upside down. So what we're going to do right now is a little exercise that you can do anytime to help support and uplift your own energetic signature. So we've got 3 oils we're going to use in this little protocol. The first is our lemongrass. Now, lemongrass is a wonderful oil energetically, physically, and emotionally for cleansing. So it helps and assists in negative energy, assists in releasing stagnant, stuck energy, so our energy begins to flow again. So you take your lemongrass, and this is a really simple little exercise, and you place 1 drop on the bottom of your feet. You may like to use a little bit of fractionated coconut oil, especially for those with sensitive skin, because lemongrass is warming, as you all know. And you place that lemongrass there, and then just imagine that you have your energetic field around your body, perhaps like an egg. Some people like to see it as an egg. And you're going to take a deep breath. First of all, you're going to also take a deep breath of the lemongrass that's on your hands. And then you're going to gather with your breath in, you're going to gather the energy down out of your auric field or energy field, right? So you're going to bring it all down with your breath in, and then with your outward breath, you're going to push it down as though you're pushing it into the earth, right? And so it's always wise to have an intention as you do that, because that helps it even be more effective. And so you might like to say, I now release through the power of my breath all energy that does not serve me to my highest potential. And I lovingly release it back into the earth. So you have the lemongrass on the bottom of your feet, that's grounding and releasing back into the earth. And you're gathering anything negative. So this is good to do if you've had an intense conversation with someone, if you're feeling a little bit down and you want to feel more uplifted and you want to release that energy outward, You just take the breath in, gather, gather. You can do this a few times and then push it back into the earth. And then maybe just relax and take a nice deep breath. And then you're going to take your tea tree or Melaleuca, which we've spoken about often from Ariana and Josie. So you're going to put 1 drop on your shoulders, on each shoulder, and 1 on the back of your neck. And take a nice deep breath with that. And as we know, tea tree is the oil of energetic boundaries. So tea tree helps us feel empowered. It helps us feel protected, that we are in control, we have some control. And this is a wonderful oil. And you may like to use mentally a little thank you. I thank the tea tree for helping me feel empowered, strong, and protected as you place it on your shoulders. And then we go to our wild orange. So we place 1 drop of wild orange on our wrists and rub it together and take a nice deep breath, because wild orange helps us feel abundant. It helps us feel there's plenty. We're not in scarcity. There's many, many possibilities of outcomes. And we're going to smell that wild orange, that there's limitless solutions to all our problems. And there's always plenty. There's always enough. And wild orange will help uplift us and help us feel centered and balanced again. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this little protocol, and you can do this at any time throughout the day. Share it with your family. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Robin. So great to know how to use oils to change our emotional state as well. So we're coming to the end of our call. We have a few more sections here. We are going to spend a little time with questions. So if anything has come up as you were hearing Josie or Robin or Ariana speak, please put your questions in the chat. We'll do our best to address all of them. And if we don't, we will certainly try to in future calls or in the chat. And I'll let, as questions are coming in, Josie, Ariana, you both were open to answering this question. The question is, what oils would be good as an alternative to Melissa? And then do those oils also follow that IL-6 pathway like Melissa does?
I can speak to Litsea. Just to let you know, if you want to do your own research, it's also known as Mei Chang in a lot of other resource books. And I am using the Aromatica book right here. So I can't speak to the pathway. I'll let that be answered by the doctors, but it is an antiviral. It's phenomenal for the lungs. It's in a Chinese blend. I think it's called Easy Air. Oh, I have it right here. It's Air Repair. So it is really good for the respiratory system. It is amazing for the emotions and uplifting and helping move feelings of heaviness. And the first constituent listed is monoterpene aldehydes. And so it is going to be a different chemistry than Melissa, but I think it would be a great alternative if you don't have Melissa. And I'll hand it over to the doctors. But there's a little, and it has been historically, it's listed here for a lot of herpes outbreaks. It's been used for that. So, and again, for lung health.
All right. So yeah, in terms of, there's differences in the different like knowledges from different areas. For the pathways, what I know, I got from Heather Zwickley, who's an immunologist and the head of the research department at NUNM University. And she was saying 2 of the specific pathways with the coronavirus that are very dangerous with the inflammatory cytokine storms are the NLRP3 pathway, which is I've never heard of that before. and she specifically said that for that pathway, she only listed 3 things that we know of with natural medicine that are help reduce it. And she said it was Melissa, rosemary, and cannabis. So she didn't say CBD, she said cannabis. And so those are the 3. And then the IL-6 pathway, that is a more known regular-ish inflammation pathway that does more things that I've heard of a lot in the body. And that's part of the inflammation cascade as well. That pathway, she specifically noted Melissa, vitamin C, and melatonin are the 3. So you have those 2 things and that overlap with Melissa, plus our own background of herbal knowledge, which is that yes, that's our number 1 antiviral herb. I've seen incredible things clinically with anecdotally with patients, I guess I'll say, with herpes simplex. It's fantastic with that. So I've seen it work in action with viruses. And so, it's kind of taking together different traditions and bringing it together with sort of saying, okay, Melissa's a really strong one. It's also expensive. We know that. Things that we look to herbally and oily in terms of alternatives, they've always called black pepper the poor man's Melissa. So I don't know if it has the same pathways. So that one, for the first pathway, the NLRP3, it is specifically rosmarinic acid, which those have in common. So we could be looking that up. Yeah, those of us researching for rosmarinic acid. And so there's herbally, though, what we think of for alternatives for Melissa would be black pepper, lemongrass. And I just looked up in Boyd Truman's book, and he says, black pepper, lemongrass, and copaiba, which is interesting, could be why cannabis, which would make sense if it was the CB2 receptor, because that's what modulates all the immune health, and that copaiba is much better at that. So that's cool. That's kind of interesting. My brain we don't know that, but I think about that. I love pink pepper. So I think black pepper and pink pepper have these similarities. And one thing we do know about pink pepper is it is a huge mobilizer of natural killer cells, the NK cells. So that's our first line of defense in our T-cell mediated defense line, which is what we need to be fighting viruses. So it's part of why it's in a lot of my.
Bailey, come on.
Oh, so think about black pepper and pink pepper alternating interchangeably. And then lemongrass, I don't think it's that yummy. So you kind of think about how you're taking it in. What are you doing? Rosemary is in on guard, and then we have the benefits of clove and cinnamon. So you could think of a nice alternative for frequent dosing and swiping could be on guard and pink pepper. You could do rosemary and pink pepper. That might be interesting. And change. Erin, do you have any? Or anyone else have any?
Diane put something really great in the comments that I want to point out to everyone, and it's that in Chinese medicine, when you're dealing with the lungs, it's around grief. So you can also go to the oils that connect to the emotional aspect. Mm-hmm. So this is something that's attacking the lungs, grief, and if we think of grief, we're going to go to console. Myrrh, that's why myrrh is such a great one, because myrrh is the mother oil. It actually is mama, yet myrrh is very profound at protecting our immune system. So that's a great one. So that's just something interesting that I think we should all remember. Diane is also saying cypress for grief. So you can go into your emotions book and look up grief, and that can also be a great oil to use. I think something that is coming up as Josie's speaking, everyone's speaking, is the importance of switching up your oils. So don't just use On Guard. Don't just use DDR Prime. Have a couple of days where you use On Guard, a couple of days where you use Melissa, a couple of days where you use black pepper. And all of you on this call who are kind of like into being a yogi and spirituality and meditation, you're going to be with me. And some of you science-minded people are going to go, are you serious, Erin? But I'm serious. The essential oils have a way of like speaking to you eventually. So if you open up your essential oil kit and rosemary is literally screaming at you. Does anybody ever have that happen? Like the bottle of rosemary is glowing and you don't know why, but you just want to smell rosemary right now. Trust that. Use the oil that's calling you.
Erin, I just want to real quickly, I think this is a good question that came in from, I believe, Sophia, about are the oils all edible? And the way to tell is I have this bottle of Digest Zen and I'm going to hold this up. You will see it. There's a supplement fact on there. If that supplement fact is on the bottle, that means that you can take it internally. So that's your quick go-to answer. So make sure and look at that if you're new to the oils, on what oils to take internally and what oils not to take internally.
And I just want to say that that's going to apply to the U.S. market.
Can I add a quick caveat to that?
I'll just finish real quick. That's going to apply to the U.S. markets. And so you can also look on doTERRA's website and it's specified there as well.
Thank you for that, Ariana. Erin, what do we have next?
Okay, so that's kind of the end of our Q&A for this call, but we are taking note of all the questions that have come through and we'll continue to answer them in the chat and also look for subjects to talk about in future calls. So now is Lori LaShawn there and around. Where's your beautiful face?
Hi.
Hi.
So I can, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Let me introduce you, and I just want to remind everyone, if you want to see just Lori, press speaker view. So Lori LaShawn is one of our founders of the Visionary Leaders team. She's a diamond up in Stevenson, Washington, and she's bringing us our humor relief for the day. So
I have a blooper, and it's something that I learned from this blooper. So I have a friend who just dove into the oils, and she is so positive and so beautiful, and she has the most beautiful skin. She like just glows. And she had gotten her whole set of, she had about 12 or 15 in this little Tupperware container. And I had gone down to her cafe to visit her, and she said, Lori, I have to talk to you. I've got to tell you what happened. Oh my gosh. So she brings her little container out and she says, so I had all these oils here and I noticed that I spilled something and I didn't know what it was. So I thought, I am not going to waste all of these amazing oils. So what I did is I started taking that oil and just putting it all over my face. She's like, because I didn't want to waste it. And she goes, and then my face just started burning. And she said she laid down on her bed and just let it pass, which I thought was, oh my gosh, amazing, because I don't know what I would have done if it was me. And then she realized that what she had done is she spilled out a bottle of oregano. So she had put oregano all over her face. And she was fine, and she still, I mean, this was a few years ago, she still loves the oils. I can't believe she still, it's like, I don't know if I'd try them again after that, but what I told her was, oh my gosh, if anything like that ever happens, if you are ever sensitive to the oils, use your fractionated coconut oil and blend that in to soothe your skin. And now, since that time, I always tell people to use or to have fractionated coconut oil on hand, just in case.
Thank you, Lori. It is so good to remember that. Never use your oils without fractionated coconut oil close around. If you don't have fractionated coconut oil, you can literally grab butter, milk, olive oil, anything that's fatty, and it'll help to reduce that burning sensation. So we hope that doesn't happen to any of you. Check your labels, make sure you know what you're putting on your face. So we are coming to the close of our time together. As a reminder, we are doing these calls every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time, and every Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific Daylight Standard Time for the unforeseeable future while we're all in a stay-at-home order, social distancing, working from home. While we can't go to in-person classes, we really wanted to bring you this education and this knowledge so you can feel comfortable using your essential oils. And again, if you don't have essential oils from doTERRA, we are talking only about doTERRA essential oils. Sometimes we forget to say that, but please know that most essential oils on the marketplace are not pure. They're adulterated, they're contaminated, or they're not balanced in their chemical profile, which means they may not be safe or effective. So we're just talking about doTERRA, and everyone on this call should get their oils at wholesale pricing. No one needs to buy their oils at retail. So if you don't have a wholesale account with doTERRA yet, talk to the person who invited you. They'll get you set up. Plus, we want you to know in these times, as our pocketbooks are being tightened just a bit, and we're budgeting our money a bit more, maybe we have lost an income source, doTERRA has a very generous rebate program. So just simply for sharing with friends and family, you can earn as little as $50 back on your order every month, and even more. And it is easy to do. So reach out to that same person if you would like to share with your friends and family and earn a little extra income to help you pay for your oils or subsidize your family's income. Next week, we'll have some surprises in store for you, but we will definitely be teaching you how to make your own hand spray. So if you are out of store-bought hand sanitizer, or you were not able to buy the doTERRA hand sanitizing mist, we're going to teach you how to make your own. And please, if there's anything else you'd like us to cover, send those notes over on Facebook, send us an email, chat it through right now, and we'd love to collect some of your requests so we can continue to give you great content as we all stay home together. Thank you to the presenters. We love you all so much. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you on Wednesday.